The dick.
The dick. Oh, can you see him?
He's on my lap.
Okay.
Okay.
Want to start?
I'll start. What did I say? It was it's been so long. Kelly's been gone. I've been gone. We've all been gone.
How do we do this?
Hello.
Sisters, brothers,
Gals.
pals.
Guys, gals. I messed it up again. Okay, so run it back.
Run it back.
Run it back.
Rewind the tape.
Rewind the tape. Cut this shit out. Hello, sisters in sin, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Kelly and Brittany of Smut Swap, your favorite dumbasses on the planet.
Your favorite duo of dumbasses.
Your favorite. So
We are here today
we're back.
to share with you that we've been on vacation and we've forgotten how to do
Correct.
everything.
Yep.
It's fine.
It's fine. I still am allowed 2 days of wallowing, and then I have to get my shit together.
Same. I'm also wallowing.
She's also
over
wallowing
Eric.
over my husband. God. Okay, so
Yeah, to catch you up, Brittany was in Virginia.
I was.
I was on a cruise
She
to
was?
the Caribbean. It was a great time. I gained 5 pounds.
She drank a lot of alcohol.
Drank a lot of booze. Didn't get hungover, which is very unlike me.
And I told you why you didn't get hungover. Because you kept drinking.
I just kept drinking.
She just kept drinking. There wasn't time for that hangover to get her. And I was in Virginia, and we drove back here to Illinois from Virginia, and it was a fucking nightmare.
It's a long-ass drive.
My husband and I love each other except for on road trips.
Does he get, what's the word I'm looking for, like overprotective of his own driving skills?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm like-
Adam too.
I'm like, could you just... Also, I'm very much a backseat driver because I'm like, why are we...
Were you like sleeping in the back seat?
No, I
Okay.
just like from the side, from the passenger.
Oh.
I'd be like, why are you going 67? The speed limit's 70. You should be doing at least 75.
At least 85. I mean, come on.
Okay, yeah, when it's us.
When it's us.
Yeah, it's 85 through the mountains of West Virginia. Twists and turns,
Yes.
85. Why are we going so slow? Why are you not passing the semi-truck? You know I hate riding behind semi-trucks. Why haven't we passed it yet? Mm-hmm. Men will do anything but go on a road trip properly. They'll even go 8,000 nautical miles on a fucking naval vessel instead of going on a road trip and listening to their wife.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
My thing is, like, Adam and I don't really argue ever. But what irritated me on our drive is I'd be trying to nap.
Yeah.
And he'd be driving like a race car. And all of a sudden, it's like my rotors need shaved because when you brake, it's like, ooh, it'll like vibrate. So we're going through Chattanooga and he's trying to whip around all these cars. And I kept waking up like thinking I was near death. Like, this is where it ends.
Yes.
This is where I'm dying.
Terrible.
And then he's like, well, Matthew sleeps in the car every time I'm driving him home.
Okay, well, Matthew...
And I'm like, that's a straight ass shot. You're not driving through Chattanooga.
You're not driving through the fucking mountains.
Come on now.
What's there, the Rockies? No, the Smokies.
the Smoky?
The Rockies are in Denver, you fucking idiot.
But I had to think about it. I'm like, are they?
You're like, yes, you're right.
Yes, everything you say is right.
Everything you say is right, Brittany. Like, stop groping the balls, Brittany. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Just cupping them balls.
Cupping them balls. Okay, so that's that. Kelly went to the Caribbean. She sent me pictures from the Bahamas, and
Did a Carnival cruise.
was
It was-
really envious. We're
fun.
also planning this really fun. I saw this TikTok that was like normalize Irish hellos, and I was like, let's do this to your daughter.
Yes.
So I can't wait until we do that.
I'm really excited. I did that with my sister once when she was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, I think it was my friend Carolina and I, we just decided we were going to follow her around while she went on a date with this guy.
Love.
And they were driving all over and we're just like,
Yeah, but the
Following
difference
them.
between that and now is like it's like showing up randomly to your friend's location. So with us having Claire's location, she wouldn't even need to like, we wouldn't have to follow her because we could just
show up.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what are you reading?
So I started the library at Mount Char.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I feel like,
It's by Scott Hawkins.
tell me about it. What's it about?
There's these kids, they get adopted by a person they refer to as father, and he raises them in a library and they become librarians, but it's not your typical librarian. They like are in charge of a certain like magical power. And the father goes missing and they're trying to find out where he is.
Got you. I feel like maybe Sheree told me about this. Is this a new release?
I don't know. I don't think it's brand new.
Okay. 'Cause
Maybe
the one-
23.
The one that Sheree read was like a new release.
But
But it was also involving librarians, so that's what's hanging me up here.
It is a very hard read.
Oh.
Like, it's interesting. So it's fantasy, but instead of world building, you're just thrown in.
Oh, I like that. I could get along with that.
Yeah, but it's like, there's so many things being said, and it's like, what? And then the dialogue sounds like it's been written by my next door neighbor. And then I'm on book 3 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and this one's called The Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook.
I've been calling Sawyer a dungeon crawler
Yeah?
because he just wants to be in the basement all the time.
Oh, I love that you referred to it as the dungeon the other day.
Yeah, I call him, I'm like, he's in the dungeon. He's a dungeon dweller.
He's supposed to play his games.
He does. Last night when the tornado warning came, I was like, get off the PlayStations.
He's like, I can't.
He's like, I'm in the middle of a round.
Aw.
Not really. They both were like, what? What's going on? And I was like, a tornado.
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm not very good in an emergency. I'm reading, my phone is somewhere. I could look because I forget what it's called. It's not going great. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you don't like it?
I think that it's very insta-lust.
Oh.
It's called Vengeful Devotion, a mafia romance.
Okay. I've seen those before.
And here's the thing that I don't like about it. There's no character development at all.
No?
None. Like, I know that the girl's uncle, like, sexually assaulted her when she lived with him and that he would put, like, scorpions on her body, but that's all that I know about her. And all that I know about the male main character is that he is, like, a mafia boss in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And in the 9th chapter, they've had, like, 3 conversations and he just fucking randomly kissed her. And I was like, but why, though?
But we love him?
But why, though? And
Like things that don't make sense?
Yeah, he's
for
like,
500?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Huh? Why?
Oh. So, and how far into it are you?
I'm like almost halfway because it's not very long, but I'm like, chapter 9, and he was like pressing her up against the wall and kissing her. And I was like, but you've only talked 3 times.
Why are you into this?
Yeah.
And you dealt with abuse.
She's like, why am I like so drawn to him? And I'm like, I don't fucking know, girl. You tell me. You have trauma. And like his mom employs you. So what the fuck are you doing? Anyway.
Well, speaking of trauma and why are you into this?
Yeah.
I read The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco.
Oh, is that an actual good segue? Or
Yes, it really
is. Excellent. So glad I started this book at this time. Oh no, I recommended this to Kelly, so hopefully.
Oh no, I did love it.
Oh, okay.
I did love it.
I love Talia Hibbert's books.
Yeah, at first I couldn't get into it, but I think I had read such different genre. And then I jumped into this and I was like, okay.
I love her.
Very like...
Her writing's so funny. Like, did you like laugh out loud?
Yes.
She's so funny.
I have one part in here where I just busted out laughing. Yeah. And what I like about her dialogue is I could see saying these things to somebody. Like, there are so many books that we read that you wouldn't say that.
No, you wouldn't say that.
And you wouldn't say it that way. Like, the way she writes speech.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for Caught Up. She's like, I give gold star head. And I'm like, girl, no one fucking says that. No one would say that.
Nobody normal would say that.
And you're 25. First of all, at 25, you couldn't even convince me to talk about sex.
No.
Like, it was a secret shame.
We're Catholic, all right?
And she's over here like, stick it in my butt. Oh, not really, okay? Not really.
That is not a spoiler. It didn't happen. Okay, so this book is by Talia Hibbert. The content warning states that The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco is a super spicy bonkers romance with a guaranteed happy ending.
Woohoo!
It's a fun ride.
It's a fun ride.
Content warnings include discussions of stalking, attempted murder, and associated trauma. Yeah. Depiction of counseling. Watch out.
Okay.
Depictions of excessive alcohol use, discussion of drugs, and biphobia. Which I don't remember the biphobia. So.
It was minor.
It was very minor since I don't remember. But that's not saying much either. So.
Yeah.
All right. So this book starts with a dark and foreboding prologue. It is December of 2017. We have Arya Granger. She has finally listened to her bestie Jen and signed up for therapy. She is sitting in her counselor's office, and he is requesting she tell him about something that happened to her this past November. And Arya stalling. She's like, you know
what? We could talk about anything but that.
She's like, so something awful has happened, but she decides to try and tell a story about how she got a tattoo on her shin in November. She goes on and on about how odd shins are and how she doesn't like touching her own shin, which I get that.
Yeah.
I hate Oh, I don't like it. It gives me the ick.
Yeah, there are certain body parts.
That and like my sternum, I can't. Arya is a tattoo artist, and her boss ended up giving her the tattoo because she just couldn't do it herself, which isn't normal for them to give themselves tattoos.
I don't know. I'll ask not husband Eric the next time I'm there.
Eric, leave a comment below if you know.
If you know who not husband Eric is, which if you've listened to this podcast, you know.
Yeah, if you're a trusted follower,
Tony,
you should know.
You're the only one who knows.
So Tony, our one fan. So the counselor writes down a few notes and then is just kind of looking at Arya like, really?
Yeah.
Like, come on, there's more.
Tell me the truth.
And with a deep sigh, she begins. In November, my best friend was kidnapped. So Arya had a boyfriend named Simon. Simon had met Jen, the best friend, previously, who at the time was Arya's roommate and best friend. They had been close for a long time and were like, Jen and Arya were like sisters. They'd been close for a really long time. But Simon had secretly been stalking Jen and chose to get with Arya secretly in an attempt to get closer to Jen. Arya and Simon date for a bit, and then one day he goes off the deep end, kidnaps her. This leads to a standoff with Simon ultimately planning to kill Jen, even holding a gun to her head. She ends up stabbing Simon.
Jesus Christ.
And he's holding a gun. It backfires and like blows his hand off. Jen gets even more injured with the shrapnel. Like, it was insane.
What the fuck?
As Arya is telling the story, she doesn't feel impacted at first, but soon realizes she's crying. She quickly adds that everything turned out kind of all right. Jen survived the traumatic ordeal. Simon has been dealt with, which it didn't really go into how he was dealt with, so I assume he's in prison or dead. Who knows? Jen is now engaged, and Arya is planning the wedding. The doctor tells her it sounds like she's been through a whirlwind, but Arya tries to brush it off, saying it wasn't that serious. Of course, she was nervous about her friend, but she didn't care about Simon. She lies to the doctor and says it's not like I was in love with him or anything, which through Arya's inner monologue, we learn is really not true at all.
Oh my God. Quit lying to yourself and your therapist.
All right, 3 months later, Arya is at her best friend's wedding, Jen. It's reached the part where the motions of the celebration have concluded and dancing is all that is left. We find Arya by herself, sulking because she's lonely. She is sought out by her best friend's brother, Keynes, I think is how you say this name. Keynes? I say Keynes.
Keynes, that's fine. We just call him Key.
Or Key. I actually wrote Key a bunch in here,
yeah.
and then I fixed it. Key starts off the conversation by stating how much of a vision she is.
Well,
they share a cigarette and commiserate over the untouchable, handsome men sitting at a nearby table.
oh yeah.
I love Key. Key has known them most of his life and thinks he vaguely remembers sharing a bath with one of them. So these guys aren't his type either. They decide to take an adventure around the grounds of the hotel where the wedding is taking place. And they're somewhere in, I want to say England, in this like really expansive hotel.
Oh yeah. So Talia is British, so most of her books do take place in like the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the hotel's huge, like has a restaurant inside, obviously the venue for the wedding, the rooms, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. At this moment, Nicholas Christie is discovering he has a problem. The problem doesn't evolve around the fact that he is a retired football player, but from the fact that a girl he hooked up with is attempting to hunt him down.
Not stalking again. Not triggering Arya again.
In this very hotel, Melissa Bright is screaming his name as she hurriedly moves through the hotel. Nick runs and starts to get lost in the maze of hallways and breezeways before running smack into Key and Arya. Nick almost falls over in shock when he realizes he knows Key. He tells Key that he's being hunted by a trio of lionesses.
Wow, drama.
I know. Arya says to him, that's rough. And this is the first time that they lock eyes. He looks over. He's caught off guard by how striking of a woman she is. She's described as having dark skin, platinum blonde hair, a piercing on her bottom lip, like right in the middle, and on either side of her nose. Both ears are covered in studs.
Hell yeah.
She's covered in tattoos, and she's a larger, voluptuous woman.
She's a curvy girl.
She's very curvy. They talk about her being very curvy, but also like flat-chested.
Oh yeah, no, that's
same
like
time?
no, that's like a typical Talia Hibbert.
Yeah?
Female main character,
I love
yeah.
it.
They all got
I love
tiny
it.
boobs and they're curvy. And I'm like, yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Nick is weirded out by how intriguing she is to him. Like, she's literally giving him heart palpitations.
Okay.
He's
Wait, you
like,
never seen
"Oh
a
my
hot
gosh,
woman before? Damn, Nick.
nobody like her.
Grow up.
Something in his brain says, take her. And he hasn't heard this voice since football games, which I don't really understand, but I'll go with it.
That was God talking to him. He feels God in this hotel tonight.
Yes, he does. And Nick, so he played for a football team, and when we say football,
Obviously
think of
means
soccer.
soccer.
But he busted out his knee. So he was forced to retire early. So he's in this point of trying to figure out his life and what he wants to do now that pro footballing is no longer on the table.
You know, you could just do what most of them do and be like a sports commentator.
Right. He could.
Obviously. Or hook up with random women that you meet in hotels.
Yeah, and then they chase you around later because they want your stick.
Yeah.
So he hears the women who have been chasing him coming, so he gets this crazy idea and asks Arya if he can kiss her. Arya's like, me? She doesn't answer, so Nick turns to Key and says, or you, if you're into that.
Yes!
Knowing damn well Key is into that sort of thing. So the boys kiss.
Woohoo!
The woman appears. She watches the men kiss, but isn't like thwarted enough to give up the chase. She screams Nick's name again, and he stops kissing Key. As soon as they break apart, Arya's like, you know what? Fuck it. She grabs Nick. My turn. And then she begins to kiss him. And then the kiss, of course, as you might expect, is the most like magical thing
butterflies
in
and
the
fireworks
world.
and
They get lost.
flames, and they're lost in each other's eyes.
Flames on their loins. They get lost in each other, and Arya realizes she's never felt a kiss like this before.
Wow.
Some time goes by, and then they finally, I don't know what I'm writing, finally break the kiss. There's a quote from Arya stating, she broke the kiss. Her vagina literally wept. But she did it anyway. Her vagina, after all, did not make the decisions here.
Yes, this is very...
That's, I think, where I first was like, what?
This is very... I read several of Talia's books. Like, I love her so much. She's
so fun.
She's so fun. You need to read the Brown Sisters books.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it like a series?
Yep. It follows 3 sisters, and my favorite is Dani's book.
Ooh, okay. Got it. So after the kiss breaks, both of them are in a state of euphoria and a bit confused. Like, whoa, that was so nice.
Are you coming? No, just breathing hard.
Arya turns to the woman waiting for Nick and gives her the look of all looks, like, the fuck? The other woman is a bit frazzled by what she has experienced, but turns and walks away quickly, seemingly giving up. Key asks Nick if he's avoiding child support payments or something. He's like, what? Why is she on the hunt? You want my money?
Why does she want you so bad?
Nick says the woman wouldn't take no for an answer, so he has simply been trying to avoid her. Arya then begins to leave with Key. They're going to go back to the wedding venue, and Nick's like, no, stay. Hang out with me. She's like, I'm busy. And Nick's like, okay, well, I'll find you tomorrow.
Or will you?
Well, he does. And Nick can't sleep that night. He tosses and turns. He can't stop thinking about Arya's full lips and the bite of her lip piercing when they had their makeout session. He hears another voice, well, the same voice, telling him to fetch her.
Hey, Nick, that's called schizophrenia.
Say that too. We call that schizophrenia here. Nick is used to getting what he wants. He's a pro, mostly retired football player. He normally takes, so obsessing over someone he barely knows is very out of body for him. The next day, he ends up prowling around the hotel just in search of her, like going up breezeways, asking the staff if they've seen this platinum blonde beauty. He is surprised when he finds her sitting in the buffet, surrounded by, like, plates of food. Like, she has so much food on her table. When he sees her, like, he's all excited, and she just scowls.
She's like, we shared one kiss.
She's
Don't you even come over here. I didn't actually mean it when I said, find me tomorrow.
So she scowls, and then she just continues eating her food. Nick's used to getting whatever he wants. He's a handsome Greek god of a man, so this is different. He sits down anyways with her, and she's still ignoring him, and she has jelly on the side of her lip, and he starts fantasizing about licking it off of her face.
Oh, I don't like that. I would hate that. I would lose my shit.
If they told you?
If they licked my face.
Ew, I would too.
Be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I can't even have Toby, like, lick my...
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No. Like those people that make out with their dogs.
Or like the ones that let them, like, drink out of their cups.
No.
Do you remember on the first season of Love is Blind where she was like giving the dog wine out of her cup and then drinking out of it?
Oh, yeah. You watched that?
Yeah.
He does joke that he found her, to which she responds, whoopee.
Good for you. Congrats.
She's less than thrilled. She's sitting surrounded by food. We're talking half the table filled with plates filled with breakfast items. Nick thanks her for the night before and attempts to take some cheese, and Arya slaps his hand and threatens to stab him if he tries to take her food again.
Joey doesn't share food.
Joey doesn't share. He's intrigued, though, and thinks it's adorable. He thinks to himself that she's so cute and lickable, which is what I read during one of our lives. Do you remember when I was talking about, like, lickable?
Lickable.
So he drops the cheese, and she responds with, good boy. Here's where things get interesting. So Nick is clearly into this girl. She's not giving him the vibe that she's into him, but he realizes, like, I haven't felt this intrigued with somebody ever. I can't lose her. Like, I've got to keep her hooked. She then asks him, are you here to avoid another woman? And this gives him the idea for something else. He tells her he's there with a different proposition. And she's like, what, are you looking for an escort? And tells him that she's never done it before. She tells him she's a tattoo artist and clearly a walking cliche, being a black woman who is heavily tatted and pierced in various places. He's like, you're not a cliche. You're perfect.
You're perfect just the way you are. And then Bruno Mars comes out.
And then they get married and live happily ever after.
The end.
Case closed. He then thinks he can hire her to come on vacation with him, charm the pants off of her, literally and figuratively, and boom, she'd be in his life forever. He hopes she'll be half as much interested in him as he is in her. He really doesn't need anyone to protect him from sex. I kind of got ahead of myself here. So he got invited to go to his best friend George's house in Spain for 7 days. So it'd be like a party for 7 days. Now that he's met Arya, he's like, you know what? To seal the deal with this woman, maybe I'll just pretend I need her to protect me from women throwing their vag at me the whole week, and penis, because he's bisexual.
I gathered that when he kissed Key.
So as they're chatting, he's like devising this plan because he doesn't want to lose her.
What happened to, hi, here's my phone number?
Right. Exactly.
Instead of devising this whole master plan to be like, how can I get her to come on vacation with me even though we just met yesterday?
Yeah. Or getting to know her and realizing she's been through trauma.
Literally.
And here you are tricking her into being stuck with you for a week.
God, you know what, Nick? We hate you for right now. There's time there's time for redemption.
So he kind of like keeps up this ruse that he needs her to protect him and be his bodyguard and his fake girlfriend. He claims women are delicate and he has a hard time saying no to them. And she's like, do I look delicate to you? And he's like, yes. The banter continues. Arya is becoming convinced women cry because they can't have sex with him, so she's starting to think he may actually need a 24/7 bodyguard. We then cut to Arya's perspective, and she's kind of getting annoyed by the conversation, but she's also somewhat being sold on it, and she's like, why am I acting like this? I feel like an idiot. She wants to tell Nick he can go fuck himself, but then a waiter appears holding an enormous tray full of food. The waiter puts the food down in front of Nick, which is strange because they're in a buffet. So she's like, did you order that? And at this point, we learn that Nick's mom owns the hotel.
Of course she does.
And the staff all know Nick very well, so they're accustomed to what he likes to eat. Nick tells her his mother owns the hotel. Arya stares and asks him to confirm that he owns the hotel. And he's like, no, I'm a footballer, a retired footballer. This is my mom's. Arya's like, Jesus, pick a well source. That's just greedy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Tear his ass up.
Nick begins to then beg her to come to Marabella and be a scary pretend girlfriend. He tells her, I have lived a charmed life. It has made me quite thoughtless. I think I would sit back and sex would fall into my lap, so I took it. But really, that's no way for a grown man to behave. And then Arya starts to find herself in a trance, and she's like, am I crazy for considering joining him? She realizes nothing could be as crazy as the crock of shit Simon fed her to get to Jen. She finally agrees to go.
That's crazy.
She's like, you know what, fuck it.
Imagine being in therapy and being like, hey, so I met this guy yesterday, and now I'm going on a vacation with him.
What do you think about that?
What do you think? My therapist would be like, girl, what? No.
Say that to yourself. So she agrees. And Nick tries to talk her into hanging out with her for the next 6 weeks so they can get to know one another. And Arya's like, no, we can email though.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, how are we going to sell this? We're a fake couple if you don't know each other. Okay, so they can email.
And even though she kind of joked about being an escort, they are going to have a cash payment for the services.
So he's paying her.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So Nick quickly offers up 100,000 pounds, and Arya has to shove food in her mouth to keep her jaw from dropping.
You keep going. I'm gonna.
You're gonna convert it for us
to U.S. dollars.
At this point in her life, Arya is living with her parents and 2 younger teenage sisters. The parents aren't supportive of Arya's goal to be a tattoo artist, as they want to quote Leviticus to her anytime she gets a new tattoo on her own body. She quickly counters, though, and says, you know what, 350,000 pounds, and it's a deal.
Oh, okay. So it's 132,000 U.S. dollars. I might accept that.
Oh, I guess the pound's depreciated a little bit. It used to be like, what, 1.5?
I think so.
Dang. Well, she's doing 350,000, so.
Wow.
Even more monies. If she were to convert it to American U.S. dollars.
Yeah. We need to know for our mostly American audience.
Yes. But if you're from England or overseas at all.
Tell us if we're wrong. Let me look. I'm going to look right now.
So after this, we cut to a few back and forth emails. Nick is telling Arya that she can understand the type of person he is by his favorite compilation of vines. Did I say that right?
Compilation?
Compilation, yes.
3% of our audience is from the UK.
Really?
Hi.
Oh,
hey.
I wanted to say good day, mate, but that's not right.
Australian.
Ignore me.
She's crazy.
Our snarky girl emails him back saying that he left out a few great ones, telling him either his research is shoddy or his soul is underdeveloped. She counters by sending him her own
compilations of vines.
Yeah, again, I put complication. Nick responds that he is very competitive and this will not bode well for her. All right, so we cut to 6 weeks later. Arya and Nick are driving to the location of the 7-day house party. Arya has told Jen, her bestie, where she is going and agrees to keep her updated. She did make it sound like she was really going with a secret boyfriend and didn't let on that this is a fake boyfriend situation.
Wonderful, yeah.
She doesn't want Jen to worry.
Meanwhile, Kelly would have my whole location and the whole backstory.
Yes, same. Arya is wearing some oversized sunglasses circa 2006, and as she's wearing these, she's constantly like sneaking glances at Nick and checking him out. She finds him super attractive today and can't stop herself from imagining herself licking her way up his body.
Wow.
She's even taking it so far to size up his fingers and wondering if she may have a vibrator around the same size for when she's feeling inspired later.
Wow. Or you could just ask him. Can I lick up your body? You're lickable too.
And speaking of vibrators, she has brought what she refers to as her socks, which is her sex box, with her, which is full of dildos, vibrators, butt plugs,
hell yeah,
lube, condoms,
whatever you might need.
Whatever a gal may need. They arrive and Nick is a gentleman and carries in her bag. She thinks this is so nice and surprising because sometimes rich men only think of themselves. No, sometimes men.
Yeah.
Just think of themselves.
Yeah.
They enter the house and Nick tells Arya that everyone is most likely asleep, but then a voice pings from around the corner and Georgia, Nick's best girlfriend, runs over and greets Nick. She didn't know Arya was coming, so she's super surprised to meet this new girlfriend. She's also like, why haven't you told me about her before? And Nick's like, you know what? She's very private.
It's new.
This is new to us. They have rehearsed a story about how they met, and it's pretty similar to how the actual meeting went, so they don't really have to sway far from the truth.
Yeah, there's no faking it. I get it.
They then share a sweet moment where they're like hugging, and I think he's like kissing on her cheek and stuff, and G's like, oh my God, you're so in love.
Yes, we are.
So much so that Arya checks Nick on it later. She questions him on being such a good actor. He tells Arya his parents were so in love, so he knows what it looks like. This leads Arya to lament that her parents are not in love. They can't stand each other, and if they would have divorced if the Bible didn't list it as a sin.
Oh, yikes.
So not good role models for her.
Yikes.
They move to their room and see that they'll be sharing a queen bed for the weekend. One room in the inn.
And a queen bed, not even a king.
We can tell that these two have different opinions on love. Arya states, love is like a diamond, costs a lot, has a great rep, but at the end of the day, it's just a shiny rock.
How is she supposed to use her box of tricks?
Oh,
if
I
there's
know.
only one bed.
She'll have to sneak away. Just wait.
Oh, wonderful.
This awakens a beast within Nick as he challenges himself to prove her wrong. So she ends up meeting the rest of the people at the house. I think there's like maybe 10 of them staying. I didn't write all their names down. It really doesn't matter. So everybody's hanging at the pool. Arya and Nick have convinced everyone they're dating. Arya's begins sizing everyone up at the house and decides everybody's tolerable. And then she's introduced to Tom Schenker. She's heard his name once before from Nick, and although he didn't specifically say he didn't like the guy, it was definitely implied by his body language.
Wonderful.
Schenker asks Arya who she is and why she's there. She goes along with the ruse of dating Nick, but decides Schenker seems like a tough personality to crack, so it's best she flirt with him a bit to get on his good side. She breathily asks him to guess who she's with. S takes a glance at the pool and goes, going to guess Nick since he's standing there glaring at me.
Hell yeah. Yes.
Nick then gets out of the pool and grabs Arya. She screams as she jumps into the pool with her. And as he jumps in, it's really sweet. He does hold her up so that her hair doesn't go underwater. Because he's like, I don't know if she's going to kill me.
We're redeeming ourselves.
So they were checking each other out. He jumps into the pool with her, and then he's just kind of standing there behind her and like holding on to her. Mm-hmm. And she starts to feel his little stick poking her in the back. So she starts rubbing her bum on it to try and get him excited. She can feel him getting hard and leans back and shares a saucy kiss with him.
Wow.
One that includes tongue and lip biting. And if I were there, I would hate that because public PDA makes me want to vom.
How many times have I screamed, get a room at our friends?
Yes. Oh, I do that to my sister and brother-in-law, and they'll always be like, we're in one.
Oh, yeah. Our friends do that, too. Well, you should find a different one where everybody else is not.
Yes. So they're interrupted by the other people in the pool, and the game, whatever was being played prior, recommences. Arya winks at Nick and whispers, how am I doing? And Nick was like, oh my God, I forgot we were being fake for a second.
Nick, shut your bitch ass up.
Nick kind of is a bitch. Like, they paint him as this, like, jockey footballer, but he's kind of a pansy.
Yeah, for real, Nick. Like, what the fuck?
After the pool, Arya tours around the mansion. As she walks around and takes in the expanse and richness of the place, she makes a quick note that there are no clocks anywhere. It's nearing 6 p.m. Arya checks this on her phone.
I was like, how do we know?
And Arya's little adventure is interrupted by G screaming that everyone will be going out in 4 hours and to hurry up and get ready.
4 hours? Is a nap included in that? Dang.
G busts in and tells her, like, encourages her to hurry up and get ready. And Arya's like, why do I need 4 hours to get ready? And G tells her that when you're in the mansion, it will take you 45 minutes to put on your false eyelashes. And Arya's like, well, I don't ever wear false eyelashes. And I think if I tried, it would take me maybe 3 hours to put them suckers on. At one point, Arya is interrupted while she's texting her best friend an update by some random guy. He walks in and says, Nick's girl, do you want some blow? And Arya is accustomed to always playing it cool regardless of how surprised she is. So she quickly says no. And then finishes her text to her best friend. And she's like, everybody keeps calling me Nick's fucking girl. Instead of her name, it's Nick's girl. Nick's girl. Nick's girl.
And that's immediately what my reaction was. Like, she has a name.
Mm-hmm. All right, so 3 hours later, Arya realizes how correct G was in her statement because it has taken her forever to get ready. She's gone through all of her clothes, all of her jewelry, tried everything on, taken it off. You know, the drama. So she's putting on the finishing touches of some lip gloss when she hears the shower water stop and sees Nick open the bathroom door. He is, of course, only standing in a towel.
And he's ripped. He's chiseled.
He's chiseled and ripped and glistening.
There's like a rivulet of water like running between his abs.
Just dripping down. And her jaws just
She's like, why do you smell like coconut? And he's like, little do you know I was jerking it to you with your coconut. I'm sorry. Wrong book. Sorry.
What was that one?
The Right Move.
The Right Move. So Arya can't help but take in the sight of him as he walks into the room. He is a football player, obviously. Again, Americans, it's soccer.
Yeah, me when Connor's story does anything.
Yeah, same.
I'm like 0 days clean. 0 days clean from Connor's story.
From drooling over Connor's story. I love that little Verizon thing you sent me too.
I sent Kelly a Verizon ad, and I was like,
Cute
oh my goodness, little bum. America's ass right there again.
Okay.
But we digress.
We digress. So she's checking out his tree trunk thighs, and she can't help but wonder if the size of his thighs diminishes from the size of his stick. But then she remembers that she was rubbing up on that thing in the pool, so probably not. As she's watching him, Nick catches her eye and tells her to close her mouth before she catches something. At this, Arya drops the lip gloss accidentally, and it rolls to where Nick is standing. And as he bends to pick it up, she can't help but hope that the towel kind of drops a little bit.
I was picturing Legally Blonde, the bend and snap.
And then he does the bend and snap and picks it up. At this point, Arya's in a very low neckline dress that she has secured with what's referred to as like a ton of nipple tape to keep it in place.
So just fashion tape.
Yeah. So she's not well endowed, which is something the author harps on quite a few times. She has a fine line cross between her breasts. So as he picks up the lip gloss and hands it back to her, he runs his finger on the fine line. And at this point, she's ready to come undone. But again, our girl has to play it cool. Nick apologizes for not bringing his clothes to the bathroom. And she's like, do you know how many men I've seen naked?
And do you know what I do for work? Do you know how many penises I've tattooed?
Names, all that. On the cock and balls. Sorry, excuse me. Insinuating that this is nothing to her. Mm-hmm. Yes, this. Although she's literally about to burst.
Oh, no.
She tells him, you could walk around here swinging your dick like a toddler, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash.
And he's like, bet. And then he starts helicoptering it.
He just stands there. So don't think I'm ever concerned by your abs and your towel. He questions her by saying, you don't care? You're not remotely affected by my presence? And she responds by saying, feel free to strip off and stick this lip gloss up your ass if you want. I've got plenty more. So what does he do, ladies and gentlemen?
Just that.
He stuffs that lip gloss up his ass. No, he drops his towel. And then what does Arya see for a split second? His stick standing up, full attention, right before he quickly turns and
With
gets
a little
dressed.
hoop on the end.
Prince Albert's lining up the shaft. And then they proceed to both try to play it cool for the next 20 minutes or so while they're getting dressed. This is completely normal.
It's normal.
Later at the bar, Arya and Nick enjoy a little drinking game. It's not your typical drinking game. It's one that he has to take a shot for every woman that she runs off. Mm-hmm. So anytime she scares somebody off, he has to drink. Arya realizes how much he did in fact need her because the girls are thick in this bar and they are approaching left and right. At one point, a girl grabs his arm and Arya grabs her hand like it's a bag of dog poop and tells her that he's busy. The girl looks disgusted and she's like, I just want to talk. And Arya's like, less talking, more walking. After the club, the two are exhausted. They go upstairs and Arya's in the bathroom wondering what to wear to go to sleep. She ends up deciding on a vest is what she calls it. So I'm thinking it's just a little tank top with buttons or something. And the largest pair of panties that she brought along with her. She's not sure if Nick will be naked or not when she exits the room and is surprised to see him in a pair of his boxers. She climbs into bed with him and they chat about how things are going. They both think things are going well, but Nick does tell her they need to set more boundaries. If they need to set more boundaries, he's willing to do so. Arya mentions how sweet it was that when he pulled her into the pool, he didn't get her hair wet. She tells him the sew-in she's wearing can get wet, so she won't throttle him if he is to splash her later. He taps her nose and tells her that she shouldn't have said that to him, and this little sweet gesture ignites a fire in her to the point that her nipples are so hard they might cut through her shirt.
Wow, he's like, I'll splash you with something. Welcome to the splash zone, bitch.
They then agree to go to sleep, and Arya can't help but think to herself that this fake relationship is so easy and so perfect compared to all of the other relationships she's been in before.
Well, you were with a stalker before, so...
The ceiling is not high, okay?
Yeah, the bar is in hell.
The bar's in hell. All right. In the morning, Nick awakens, and his right arm and Arya's right arm are intertwined because she's laying on her stomach, he's laying on his back. He takes in the vision of her and realizes that he is smitten, which, if you didn't notice already, he's obsessed.
We knew. He's one step away from being her stalker.
Yes. She's perfect. She didn't snore or drool or kick him in her sleep. He felt as if the bar last night, that she was his son and he was just orbiting around her.
Great.
Everything was too perfect. He is also so hard that he needs to relieve himself. Otherwise, he will never be able to pee when he wakes up or when he gets out of bed.
Wow.
He gets in the shower and can't help but moan, envisioning Arya's mouth around him. He is quick to orgasm and immediately begins to get hard again. And this makes him feel like he's a young lad.
Sir.
With the coconut body wash.
Why do you smell like coconut again?
All right, later that day, the men are playing some football on the grass, and the women are hanging by the pool. Nick can't imagine a more perfect day. He's with two of his guy friends, Vero and Kieran, and they can tell he's thinking about Arya and super distracted, and they're like, get it together. We're playing a game.
Yeah, you're a professional.
He's like, is it that obvious? And they're like, yes, that girl's literally a foghorn in your brain. Arya! He then asks how they manage their feelings for their own girlfriends because he's never been this taken by anyone before. They encourage him to just tell her, and then they bust his balls by telling him that he is really bad at this, and he's really lucky that he even pulled a girl like Arya. They're like, really, you don't know how to talk to a woman? Come on. Kieran gives him some sound advice, letting him know that he should probably tell her that he has slept with half of the house.
Jesus Christ.
There's another girl named Lori who's French. Varo, one of the guys he's kicking the ball around with. And then some random guy, Tom, that I don't even know if they talked about.
We won't slut shame him, but my God.
He gets around. During this conversation, Nick looks over and sees that Shanker is talking to Arya. He instantly gets that look on his face where he's super pissed off and feeling possessive. And no one can touch her but me. His eyes are darkening.
And if you touch her again, you'll die.
Yes. Nick looks down at the soccer ball and up at Shanker, and the other guys instantly know what's going through his head. Kieran encourages Nick to let Varo take it. He's like, let Varo take the shot at Shanker because he is the striker. And Nick's like, you think I can't hit him? And one of the guys already knows that Nick's going to try and bet on this. Kieran tries to wave it off, but then they quickly is like, you know what? $5,000. I'm sorry, €5,000 if you hit him. 10,000 if you hit him in the head.
Wonderful.
So Nick,
boys
and their toys. Nick pulls off the most perfect kick, and the ball ends up hitting Shanker right in the head. Shanker instantly is pissed off, but everybody else is laughing, and Nick's like, sorry, I thought you'd catch it.
Haha, teehee, didn't mean to hit you like that.
And Arya's like, that's my man.
She's like, I got a box of tricks for him later.
My socks. It's funny you say that.
Oh, great.
So sometime later, Arya's getting pained from watching everyone. Nick, to be more specific, his confidence with the soccer/football, I don't know what to call it, is sending her into orbit. She decides it's time to take matters into her own hands, literally. She feigns too much sun and tells everyone she needs to lie down for a few. She heads upstairs and grabs her socks, the sex box, out of her belongings. This thing is filled with toys, small to large, and butt stuff, as well as lube and condoms. She grabs a black rabbit and decides this is the tool for the job.
Wonderful.
But wait, there's a swift knock at the door, and in walks Nick.
And she's standing there like...
Nick doesn't see the socks at first and just comes in the door, and Arya literally throws the rabbit into the socks and then sits on top of it. And Nick comes over and he's all like concerned because he was told that she went upstairs.
He's like feeling her
He
face.
is. He starts to feel her face and he's like, are you okay? Maybe you should lie down. Do you need some water? And then he realizes that she's sitting on something because she's kind of like uncomfortable because the corners are poking her ass. And he's like, what are you sitting on? So she tries to come up with all these excuses and finally says, it's a box full of menstrual cups. And he's like, and she like kind of feigns embarrassment. And he's like, last night we were at the bar and you told me you got a round vibrator stuck up there and had to lay it like an egg. You really think I think you're embarrassed? You think I'm going to buy this story?
Oh my God.
I cracked up at that part. That's the one where I was like, what?
She's like bearing down
to get this vibrator.
Oh, lay it like an egg.
Could you imagine?
No.
That's what you go to the ER for.
I am trying to picture it, though.
That reminds me of Abby's story.
Oh,
from
my
the
God.
ER. Our friend told us
A wild ER story.
no names were used, so no HIPAA was violated, but
She's told us a wild story.
a wild story about a guy and a vibrator, right?
Yep. Right up his butt.
And that sphincter would not loosen up to get that thing out. So she finally gives in and shows him her socks. And our man is in shock. He's like, what? And he's also turned on and then starts questioning, like, the rabbit. Like, what's this part for? What does this do?
First time ever being with a woman?
I guess so.
Wow. Okay, good for him.
I would think he normally just got his rocks off and that was it.
Wow.
But he's also super turned on. And Arya can see the tip of a stick
Poking
sticking
up
up.
poking up the top of his swim trunks.
It is. He
Oh my
questions
God.
her then, asking if she was planning to take care of herself in their bed without
Yes.
him, claiming he should punish her for that.
Excuse me, you're my fake boyfriend.
Well, the fake boyfriend begins to kiss her neck and pull her against him, and in this moment, Arya finally admits that she wants him. He quickly pulls down her underwear and, like, flips her around and bends her over the bed, and he takes the vibrator to her and then starts to toss her salad until she orgasms. Do you know what that means?
Toss her salad.
Do you know what that means?
Explain yourself.
He eats that ass.
Oh my God, speaking of eating ass. So you remember in episode 2 of Heated Rivalry where I was like, he's folding him like a pretzel.
Yes.
He was 100% eating ass.
Was he?
Yes. And it was confirmed in an interview with the director.
Well, you know who else eats ass? Nicholas.
Nick eats ass.
Which is also called tossing that salad. If you're new here.
If you're new here, which apparently I am.
I got so excited I lost the... Oh, there we go. I forgot how to work this thing. So that happens. She has a big orgasm. And then what I forgot to mention is when they were in bed the night before talking about boundaries, they decided that if things ever went too far, they would have a safe word. Mm-hmm. And the safe word is banana split.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So when all is said and done and she has the orgasm, it feels like time literally stops. And as she then rolls over and is laying on the bed, Nick wants to cuddle with her. And she's like, banana split!
It's a line too far.
We can't snuggle. It was too much for me. So Nick leaves immediately.
She was like, eat my ass? Yes. Put your arms around me? Absolutely not.
Maybe he just wanted to kiss her after, and that's where she was like, nope, I know where that's been. Maybe that's why. What's the author's name?
Talia Hibbert.
Talia, let us know.
Yeah, we hope that you're watching because we love you.
Not much happens in the next chapter. Our duo barely talks before heading out for the evening. As they're at the bar, like, dancing, and Arya's bumping and grinding with G. She keeps looking over at Nick, like, all sultry.
She's like, his tongue was in my butthole earlier.
Later, back at the house, they both had a few, and they walk in, and Arya's not ready to go upstairs, so she's like, let's play a drinking game. So they all sit down, and she's, again, the fake girlfriend, so she ends up sitting in Nick's lap, and they start playing Never Have I Ever.
Of course they do.
Which the game isn't too exciting, but we do learn that A has been married before.
Oh.
Not to Simon, the stalker. Mm-hmm. And Nick has participated in a public fivesome, so an orgy.
Jesus
essentially.
Christ, Nick.
Yeah. And Arya's like, so an orgy.
And he's like, no, a fivesome.
So, yes.
And we're about to be a throuple with Key.
Just wait. So the game ends. They're both feeling really drunk. Nick ends up carrying Arya up 3 flights of stairs, and she's like, I'm a heavy girl.
I can walk.
And you have a bad knee that you had to retire for. Like, maybe you should not. They get into bed. She's so drunk that she's about to just pass out. And she's like, we should have had sex earlier. And Nick's like, well, just ask me in the morning. And she's like, you know I'm not going to ask you in the morning.
Yeah.
Help Me, I'm Dying is the opening for the next chapter. Arya is hungover real bad. Nick has come to check on her because somehow he's fine and bring her pills. She swallows them dry, and he's like, wow.
Been there.
That was excessive.
Been there.
And she attributes this skill to taking lots of drugs in her past to try and get her parents to pay attention to her.
I have never taken drugs except for Tylenol.
He tells her they should stay in for the night, and when she protests, he quickly tells her that he's the boss and pops a kiss on her forehead.
Banana split.
Banana split immediately. Later, as the rest of the house is getting ready, Nick brings her a bagel. He steals a bite, and A reminds him, if you steal my food, I will stab you. He tells her things are different now because he knows she likes him now. She counters, telling him she liked him then as well. And then he begins to question her on her actual feelings. Arya is honest and tells him that she really likes him now, and they agree that after this vacation is up, they'll want to see each other again and keep things going. Then they start to come clean about their past. Nick starts by asking her if she wants to hear a story, and then proceeds to tell how he slept with Lori, the French girl, and then is like, do you want to hear another story? And talks about how he slept with G, and then...
Do you want to see me have a fucking meltdown?
And then one last story where he talks about sleeping with G and Varro at the same time, and I guess Varro is straight, but was okay with Nick doing things to him.
Because there was a girl involved.
Maybe. You're probably right.
Yeah.
And Arya, being the mature woman she is, doesn't act like she's bothered. And honestly, by the way, Nick, starts to clam up and get really nervous when he's being sincere and honest and open. She finds that really endearing. Okay, I can tell you're being honest because of how you're acting. She asks him the point. She's like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, well, I really don't want to be like that anymore. I want to be monogamous. I want one person. I want commitment. And then he tells her, I want you intensely, I want you formally, and I want commitment.
And then he pulls out a ring.
The end. And then he asks her to tell him about her ex-husband. She tells Nick about a boy named Matt. She met him when she was 16. He used to bully her about being fat and ugly.
Jeez, Matt.
And then it turned out later that he was into bigger girls and didn't find her so ugly anymore. They were together until they both turned 18 and then ran off on the road. Matt was a musician and she wanted to follow him around as the little roadie. They got married thinking it was love, but really it was just Matt being in lust and Arya falling in love with the idea of somebody else wanting her and needing her.
I just want to say, can we stop the idea that boys who are mean to girls like them?
Yes, I hate that. I really hate it. That's one thing I never told the girls.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't talk to them if they're mean to you.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, if they're mean to you, they're not your friend.
Right.
They don't like you. Mm-hmm. Don't be friends with them.
Yeah. So parents, if you're listening.
And you don't have to be nice to them if they're mean to you. And I have boys.
Yeah.
And just that's my only complaint so far.
Yeah.
Because I'm having a great time.
Arya then tells him that relationships aren't really for her because she can't trust herself or anyone else. She then quickly tries to change the subject by saying semantics. She's like, this is depressing. Can we just move on? And Nick sits up and tells her that they can do whatever she wants. And Arya tests the water by saying, fuck me then.
Wow. Straight to the point. Okay.
Throwing it out there.
I don't want to be with you, but I'll be with you.
If you know what I mean. They make out for a bit and then Nick pulls away telling her, I will fuck you happily after I take you to dinner. She retorts by saying, I thought we weren't going out. You said we were staying in. And Nick says, I know you're hungry. And Arya's like, well, yeah. I am actually. So Arya tells him that she's going to go shower. And Nick's like, all right, leave the door open. I know you're horny. And I know you want to come. But you're not allowed to do that. And if I catch you misbehaving, there will be consequences. She tries to play it cool. And she's like, no, I would never. And then she's like, damn it.
Busted. I'm busted.
Busted. Done and dusted. Once they go to dinner, Arya has to sass him back. So she spends the whole of dinner moaning, licking the ice cream off a spoon, sliding her fingers up and down the wine glass, and breathlessly saying Nick's name. If he wants to play games, she will be playing them too.
Hell yeah.
Talk shifts to what Nick will do when he is fully retired from football, which I think he's practically retired at this point. He's just kind of hanging out with some of his team members. Nick has no idea, and the stress of figuring something out is weighing heavily on him. Arya kind of soothes him a little bit by telling him that he doesn't have to rush, that he's good at everything, and that he's amazing.
Oh.
She tells him to not pressure himself and overthink. It just takes some time to acclimate. When you're so used to doing one thing and switching to another, just be chill. And Nick is like, wow, you know what? He feels lighter, stronger, and more like himself.
Great. Great.
On the drive home, he thinks he's in love with her. You knew this was happily ever after. At the house, they flirt while going up the stairs. He imagines marrying her and then worries she doesn't want commitment, and this scares him, and now he knows he's in love with her.
Yep.
Right? You've been there?
Yeah,
Right?
Sure have.
He grabs her wrist and tells her he doesn't want casual.
She's
She
like,
asks...
as a matter of fact, I don't want casual because I'm in love with you. And she's like, sir, this is literally, we've been here for 4 days.
And then he pulls out a ring.
This is the 5th time I've seen you.
What's your name again? I don't even know your last name.
I can't take your last name. I don't even know it.
He grabs her wrist and tells her he doesn't want casual. She asks what he wants, and although he wants to say love, he offers up, it's just you and me. And Arya's like, okay, it's just you and me.
Sure.
Again, commitment. They then proceed to seal the deal with some sweet, sweet lovemaking. Nick speaks to her in Greek. He'll always have these little nicknames for her that he'll say in Greek, and it tends to turn her on.
Even though she doesn't know what he's saying? Got it.
Yeah. And while they're mid-coitus, he tells her in Greek that he loves her, but she doesn't know what he's saying. So she's like, oh, haha.
She goes, she's like, wait, what'd you say?
Say that one more time. Into the mic. So they've sealed the deal. And the next morning, Nick and her become acquainted very well with the socks and the things inside of the socks. They then head out to the town, and Arya manages to find ink for Nick's tattoo. Again, she's a tattoo artist. Nick has no tattoos, and they talked earlier about her giving him his first one.
I'd like you to be my first. First person I've loved. First person I've had tattoo me.
Yes, exactly that. Back at the house, everyone watches as she tattoos the back of his arm. And she did keep asking him what he wanted, and he's like, I don't care. And she's like, this is your first tattoo. It's not like you're covered like I am, and I have an octopus wrapped around my ankle.
Yeah, it's not like me.
With your stickers.
With my stickers.
I love
literally.
your tattoos, though. No, they all have a meaning.
Not
Kind
really.
of.
Not really.
West Virginia? Mothman?
That's the only one. Those are the only ones that have any sort of meaning. And my lemons.
But you also like cowboy romance.
Yeah.
You have your cowgirl.
I do.
You have your Taylor
Kelly,
Swift fan. You got your Fearless.
I literally have a bee with a cowboy hat on my arm. Are you fucking kidding me?
Here I am trying to make sense. I can make sense of anything if you let me, okay?
I got cherries on my shoulder because I'm a virgin.
Yes. She's pure.
I'm pure of heart.
Okay, so they get back to the house. She starts tattooing something right above his elbow on the back of his arm so he can't see it. It ends up being the name of his team, Colston City.
Lame.
Which really, I was like, oh, okay.
I would have if you would have been like, you have free reign, you're getting my name tattooed on you. I don't care.
But at first she did joke, and she's like, I put the poop emoji on the back of your arm.
Well, yeah, because you wouldn't be able to tell.
He's like, great. Nick tells her he loves it, and A instantly wants to be like, I love you.
Wow.
So she starts to panic and runs off to the bathroom.
The voice in her head was like, you love him. Tell him.
Tell him.
Tell him you
Tell
love
him
him.
now. No, the voice never comes back. It's just those 2 times, I think.
Great. The voice was like, okay, you've locked her in. We're good. I'm gone.
Schizophrenia cured.
I'm gone.
So she runs to the bathroom, and she's like, I've never felt like this before, and it's a super scary feeling. There's a knock on the door, and she hears this deep voice that is not Nick, and it turns out to be Shanker.
I'm so tired of him.
I know. He squeezes into the room. He's blonde also, so we hate him. We hate him.
Ugh.
You and your blonde hair and your rock hard abs.
Get out.
He squeezes into the room with her and tells her they need to talk. A is immediately mad. She doesn't want to be in the bathroom with him. He tells her that he knows she's a good girl and a nice girl, and keeps using the word girl over and over, which is kind of weird for a man in his 30s. He tells Arya that Nick can't be trusted, and that when he grows tired of fucking her, he will move on to the next best thing. And A is still holding the tattoo needle at this point in her hand, and she gets real close to Shanker and tells him that she has a really bad temper and that all she wants to do right now is shove this tattoo needle into his fucking eye.
As you should.
She tells him that will hurt and cause some other issues, and she's never wanted to stab anyone more in her life.
And she's like, hey, have you heard of bloodborne illness? You don't know what he could have.
Have you heard of Hep C?
You don't know what he could have.
She tells him to get the fuck out of her way and exits the bathroom. And this is where I thought we'd have like a third act conflict. I'm like, oh, Nick's gonna see and get jealous. But no, I was wrong. It only pushes Arya and Nick closer together because once Arya is out of the bathroom, she goes and grabs a snack, Nick, by the wrist and pulls him along with her through the house. She tells him, you wanted the opposite of casual. She then tells him, I want to be with you for real.
Wow.
Nick then grabs her, whispers mine against her lips, and wraps his arms around her. And then both kind of laugh because neither of them have been in a relationship, like a serious relationship before, even though Arya was married.
That wasn't serious. She was a teenager. That wasn't serious.
You're right. So now they're like, now what do we do? Now we're together. Now what?
Toss his salad.
Toss his salad. That's what we do.
You can just toss his salad.
All right. Not much of note in this chapter, even though I wrote a whole fucking paragraph. There's a lads versus lasses football game, which takes up a big chunk of it. Arya was not the best player, and it turns out the women that are... So G and Lori, I think is the French girl, are pro football players as well.
Of course they are.
She's like, oh... Once they get back to the room after getting super sweaty, things take a turn and Nick starts to go... he's like undressing her and going down on her, and she's like, I am so sweaty and disgusting.
And he's like, I don't care.
He's like, let me taste you.
Let me taste that sweat.
Arya tells him that she needs to shower. She gets into the shower and tells him she wants to be alone, but really is just trying to get a rise out of him. She doesn't let him in. As she's in there, she like starts to touch herself.
It's like a glass shower door.
It is.
And she's like running her hand down her body.
Yes, that. Did you read this already?
No, I did not.
And she's like moaning and stuff. And then she turns and is like, oh, look at this. And it's a dildo with a suction cup on it. And she throws it on the wall. So then she bends over and begins to ride it.
Wow.
And Nick's like, as this is happening, he's like, let me in. Let me in. Please let me in. And she's like, you need to beg. And finally he begins.
He's like crawling on his knees like, please.
She's like, lick the dirty water off the bottom of this tub. Just kidding. That didn't happen. So finally she lets him into the shower. And I feel like this passage from the book really does this part justice because it says Arya didn't stand up, didn't ease the toy out of her coos and come to him because she was a witch whose purpose in life was to melt his fucking brain. And to that I say, hell yeah.
Melt that brain.
Hell yeah, brother. Arya then continues to ride the dildo while going, and then she starts going down on Nick. And he realizes that he's never been less frantic with lust and need and love for somebody all at the same time ever in his life. So A's on the dildo, touching herself and going down on him with such a ferocity that he comes so fast, which makes her come at the same time. Once out of the shower, Nick confesses that he's in love with Arya. She sees this as a little bit off-putting. She doesn't say it back, but tells him that she does need time and doesn't want to rush anything. Nick then tells her another confession and that he really didn't need her to be his fake girlfriend. He decided he would ask her to be his fake girlfriend and hope that they would fall for each other in the process of pretending.
Didn't she say that she loved him? Like,
she wanted to say she loved him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like,
but she refuses to admit it. Moment.
So she's like,
excited when he says it to her, and then when he confesses that, I didn't really need you to be my fake girlfriend. I just wanted to take you away for a week and essentially hold you hostage.
Yeah, she's
to make you fall in love with me. So she has alarms going off in her brain and begins to panic. She tells Nick that she's stupid for falling for this and that this is dangerous. She's like, whoa, this is so dangerous. She says, I'm so bloody desperate for affection that I confuse fake feelings with actual emotions. I think she thinks he's pathetic, thinking this whole ridiculous plan would work, and he brainwashed her into wanting him. So clearly she's going through it, and Nick doesn't understand because he's unfamiliar with the situation that occurred and her trauma.
The stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you don't know each other.
She's like, this is crazy. So she won't let Nick near her and asks if she just screams, like, easy mark, easy target. She tells Nick she wants to go home now and without him. So later on, Arya ends up leaving. It turns out G drove her to the airport. She cried the entire time. She flew home. And then she instantly goes to her best friend Jen's house to let her know what went down. Jen listens to everything. While Jen thinks Nick is an ass for lying, she thinks A should still give him a chance. She says the way he made her feel, despite everything that happened, how he made you feel isn't a lie. Like, those are real feelings. On the other side of the coin, Jen's husband has reached out to Key from the beginning of the book, the one who kissed Nick, to tell him Nick has Arya all fucked up. He ends up meeting up with Nick to get his side of the story. And Nick's like, I lied and hired her simply because he wanted a chance with her. He tells Key that he knows the whole thing was reckless and ridiculous and selfish. And Key questions him, asking if he thought to admit this to A.
Yeah, you dumbass. Of course he didn't, because he's a man.
And Nick's like, no, I froze. And Nick calls him a spoiled baby man and tells him if he is in love with Arya, he'll be hurting forever because he's not going to be forgiven by her. Nick then leaves and travels to his flat in England to spend time alone. He can't stop thinking about Arya. He decides he needs to put the ball in her court and allow her to make the decision to come to him. He's essentially pushed their entire relationship into being as if she were some kind of doll and he was a puppet master. And that wasn't how he wanted things to be. So Nick sends Key a text begging him to pass on a message to A. He explains his side of the story, provides addresses to his flat and his parents' hotel, as well as every social media account that he has. He says he'll check them every day, even if it makes him want to scratch his eyes out. He closes by telling her that he loves her and wants a chance with her and was incredibly selfish about everything. Then he tells her he's sorry. Arya reads the message the next morning and the tears won't stop. She's been crying for days, and this just makes her cry even more. But what jars her is how much she can hear Nick's voice as she reads this message. Not the cocky one, the nervous and soft and sincere one.
The one that she got to know.
This reminds her of his other qualities, and she realizes how much she loves him and how she's never loved someone like him before. Arya ultimately decides to stay in contact with Nick. She ends up emailing him and tells him, I still don't trust you, before she goes to sleep. Nick responds 3 minutes later, but Arya doesn't see it till the next morning. He's both excited and stressed at her email. He asks how he can fix it. Arya's response? Send her shitty vines because deep conversations aren't sounding great at the moment.
Give me those shitty vines. Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens. 5 days of shitty vines ensues, and Arya finally responds with a real message. Nick sees her response after sitting in a meeting to join a charity foundation that gets football to disadvantaged girls. Arya has told him that his taste in vines has improved, and it must be due to her influence. After making the board, so he makes the board. He's part of this charity foundation. He then reads the message, and it literally sends him to the moon. He responds, letting her know she's influenced him in many ways for the better. They banter back and forth, and Nick is stressed and worried that one wrong word could have her bailing. He wants to tell her the good news, but doesn't want to come on too strong, so he almost dies when she says they can continue this conversation on the phone.
Oh, boy.
Then he almost breaks the screen of his phone, like trying to quickly answer. It's really cute.
What a fucking dweeb.
It's a cute little dweeb. They talk on the phone, and he tells her about being selected to join the board. She's generally excited and happy for him. At one point, she randomly tells him how great it is to hear his voice, and he's like, oh my gosh, really?
He's twirling his hair.
He is.
Taking his feet behind him.
They chat for a bit, and she tells him she still hasn't forgiven him before quickly saying, well, I've forgiven you, but there's more to tell, and it involves a long story. Nick tells her he's there for her and willing to listen. Arya ends up ending the call, though, before telling the story, and they mention getting together sometime soon. 2 weeks later, the duo meets up at a nice restaurant. They have their usual banter, and Nick can't stop smiling. He's feeling lucky just to be back in the room with her. It feels for Nick that things have gone back to how they were before. And right before dessert comes, Arya gets serious, and we can tell that the talk, capital T, is about to begin.
Oh, boy.
She's so excited.
Sorry, I haven't been sleeping well.
Oh,
It's okay.
I feel you.
I'll get over it.
Arya quickly tells him the story, and she's like verbally vomiting at this point. I was dating a man who turned out to be a murderous stalker. He kidnapped Jen, and then there was a police standoff. Jen managed to get away after stabbing him, but was injured when his gun backfired, and he blew his own hand off. And Nick's like, what?
And she's like, and as a matter of fact, you reminded me of him.
Turns out, you're not far off. Nick grabs her hand to make sure she's okay. She tells him she's only talked about this with a therapist. She also informs him this happened in November, which is less than a year ago.
Yep. And she's already in love.
She explains it happened less than a year ago. She apologizes for overreacting, which I'm like, hell no.
No, you did not.
And Nick's like, you were acting accordingly, given the trauma that you've been through. It makes sense she'd be untrusting of him after he came clean. He admits everything is his fault. Hell yeah. Arya's like, I mean, obviously it's your fault. Everything's your fault because you suck.
Yeah.
Nick agrees, and Arya's like, yeah, global warming, the diminishing of the bee population, your fault.
Everything is Nick's fault.
And Nick's like, what? And she's like, well, are you trying to win me back or what?
Except that everything is your fault.
Except that everything's your fault. More banter, and Arya asks Nick to explain the thought behind his plan, like his initial plan to take her away for 7 weeks. She's still holding his hand when she says this and is smiling playfully. He tells her that his intentions were to get the chance to get to know her. As soon as he met her, he was entranced and couldn't let her go. He devised a plan to keep her close in hopes that things would proceed further. He tells her he loves her, and she replies that she is extremely lovable. There's some sweet, sappy stuff after this, but you can read the book if you want to read it, because this is going on long enough. The two then cut to walking home, and Arya admits for the first time that she's in love with him.
Wow.
And then I put smoochy, smoochy, kissy, kissy, and they lived happily ever after.
The end.
But wait, we have a soft and mushy epilogue, as the author calls it. Years down the road, enough for Arya and Nick to have adult children at this point. Arya's daughter is asking for their grandmother's ring because she saw a woman at work she knows, she saw a woman at work and knows that she will marry her one day.
Wow, okay.
And Arya's like, what? You need a ring for someone you haven't even, spoken with
You're
yet?
exactly like your father.
And Nick is like, I'll get it for you tomorrow. I understand.
You're exactly like your father.
Like a father. And that is...
The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco by Talia Hibbert.
Yes.
The lighting is going to be so fucked up in this, and I hope that you love it.
Stay strong as you watch this via the YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I really liked it. I think 4.1.
Wow, and you would read more from her?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I love her. She's one of my favorites.
It was really fun. It wasn't super long. It was good.
She's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Now, in housekeeping news, Game On by Nevessa Allen is out. So after we...
It's out?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
It came out on the 31st.
Does this close?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just gotta...
Oh, you literally just close it.
You just keep that in there.
Oh, okay.
It came out on the 31st. So once Kelly finishes caught up, we will be reading Game On.
Okay, I will get right on that.
And that's all that I have,
Effective
folks.
tonight.
Subscribe, follow for more. We are close to 500 followers on TikTok.
We're 100 away, right?
Yeah.
120? 130. Yeah. It's math. Semantics.
Semantics. It doesn't matter. Follow us on TikTok or else.
Follow us. We'll be talking about more tossing of salad.
Yeah. And
or probably not there.
And starting next week, I'll be going back to Kelly's house for dinner and live.
Yeah.
And reaction.
Maybe Bridgerton.
And reaction to Bridgerton.
Yes. I'm excited.
Okay, that's all.
All right. On the horniness scale?
Yeah.
I mean, they were horny the whole time. So is that out of 10?
Yeah.
I'd say maybe a 6.
Perfect.
Yeah.
6 out of 10 horniness.
All right, sorry.
You heard it here first, freaks. You heard it here first, freaks.
Yeah, freaks.
Okay, that's all.
All right.
Toodles.
Bye.
I think that one might have stopped recording, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to be so honest with you. The angle for this one...